Congratulations, first and foremost. Were you surprised that you were the only person who put their hand up for the top job?
There was certainly a lot of discussion amongst councillors around the mayor and around the role, but what a lot of councillors said to me was that at the moment what we needed was experience. We needed someone that had been there before, that had done the job before, and so I think there are a lot of people on the council that had potential to be the mayor and a lot of skills on there, but I think at this stage they just wanted someone that knew the ropes and could hit the ground running. So I think in the end it was a logical choice from their perspective amongst the group of councillors. But don't worry, there was a lot of discussion back and forth around lots of councillors before we got to that point.
So it sounds like you see a role in a few years' time for someone who might be a first-time councillor to step up into a role like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the talent that's on there at the council, I think a lot of those people could have done the role, but it just would have taken them some time to get up to speed. And because there's been a little bit of disruption over the last 6 months, maybe over the last few years, I think that was the general opinion of councillors, that we just really didn't have the time to still get up to speed and go through that learning curve. So, hey, Matt, can you jump in the role? And in a couple of years' time, 1 year and 9 months is the next time when the mayoral position will come up for grabs. Then maybe there'll be some people who have then had some experience on council, have learned the ropes and understand the role, and great, let's get into it now. Because it is a big role and it is a big business. It's a $3 billion business. It's a budget worth several $100 million a year. They're the raw numbers, but there are so many parts of the operation and so many parts to understand. It's a pretty tough job just to jump in on day one and say, right, let's keep this machine running efficiently and smoothly.
An unusual feeling to be back in this seat?
It's a bit interesting because I went upstairs and started talking to some of the staff that I used to deal with 5 years ago, and they said, how was it sitting back in the mayor's seat, for example, and finishing off the meeting? And I said, well, I wasn't sure how it would be, but I sat down and it was a bit like riding a bike. You jumped into the seat and things just started rolling off, and it just felt quite natural, actually. So when you've done something for a long time, even though you've been away for a while, it actually felt quite natural.
What are the biggest challenges of the first few months for you, do you think?
There's no doubt about it. The big challenge is getting community confidence back. There's been some loss of that, and I don't want to dwell on the past, but there's been some loss of that confidence, and certainly amongst the staff as well. There's been a bit of a loss of morale in the staff, and they haven't really looked up to their leadership. So we need to get that confidence back, and you can lose trust in a heartbeat, Nick, but you can't get trust back in a heartbeat. So it will take time to get that trust back. The community needs to know that you've got a new group of leaders. You've got leaders who are really focused on driving great outcomes for Dubbo. I really love, and I'm really enthused by the group of councillors we've got. I've sat down and talked to all of them individually, and there's just this almost naive enthusiasm amongst them, which is really great, and that enthusiasm is infectious. So we've got to get that confidence back. And I said it at the meeting yesterday, the only way we'll do that is through actions. I can talk about this all day. I can talk to you every day and say, wow, we're going to get this community confidence back. But if our actions don't reflect that, then people are going to still have that loss of confidence. So we need to do that with our actions. And the way we do that is by communicating with our community much better than has been done in the past, and by being transparent and make sure that the community knows what's going on. They're not going to love every decision that councillors make. That's never a part of the course for any person in an elected position. You make decisions, and some people like those decisions and some people don't like those decisions. But you need to be transparent and clear why you're making those decisions. And the best feedback I've had from people ever has been when people have said, I don't agree with the decision, I don't like the decision, but I understand why you made the decision. And you think, well, I've done my job.
How would you describe the makeup of the New Look Council?
Lots of people I saw on social media have been talking about what a diverse group of councillors there, and there is some diversity there. We've got some females, we've got 2 Aboriginal people, and I don't think we've ever had 2 Aboriginal people before. We've got people that have been born overseas, we've got people that have been born outside of Dubbo. But I actually really like the talent there, the amount of talent we've got. The people have got backgrounds in business, they've got backgrounds in government jobs, we've got people that are a bit younger, people that are a bit older. So there is a really good mix of different talents, different backgrounds and different perspectives, and that's the critical thing in a group of councillors. You don't want everyone that looks about the same, because they'll all have about the same opinion and we won't realise what's needed out there in the community. So I think that's a really important part. You'll sit there with your glasses on and your group of people that you might deal with and interact with, and you've got one view on something, but someone in a completely different environment says, no, that's absolutely the wrong view. This is what the people of Dubbo and Wellington need or want. This is a different view. So you need those different views to come to the table and be part of that mix to get the best outcomes.
It is a council that you feel can work well together?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And again, I have sat down and had a coffee with everyone. The only one I haven't had that chance to have a really good long chat to has been Jess Goff, only because she kind of popped up at the end. I actually didn't realise that she was going to be a councillor until the end, which is well done to Jess. So I've had a couple of chats to Jess on the phone, but I haven't actually had a really long conversation, one-on-one with her yet. But I've had some good conversations with her already. But I think all of the people have got the right attitude, the right approach. They're there for Dubbo. They're there because they're keen to see Dubbo progress. So I actually think they'll work really well together. And just yesterday, we spent about 3 hours together before the actual meeting started. And just the discussions yesterday, they were very respectful. People had different views on certain things, and that was fine. But we worked through those things. Even the day of the meetings changed, and Monday nights have been the time for council meetings and committee meetings for as long as I know from Dubbo City Council and Dubbo Regional Council. But one of the council members said yesterday, we were talking about the dates, that they had a bit of a clash on Monday, but of course they prioritise council over the other clash they had. And we as a group said, no, let's work through this. What's another day? So we worked through and we had a few other clashes on different days, and we arrived at Thursday and everyone said, okay, that's great, let's move to Thursday night. And it was done in a really nice manner where everyone considered the views of other people before we came up with a final decision.
So it sounds like very much we're rolling into 2022 with a clean slate and a fresh look at what council can do.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, that fresh slate, the clean beginnings, the new beginnings, and even talked to some of the staff afterwards last night. They were excited about, we're going on a break and we're going to be really comfortable and relaxed on the break, and we'll come back next year. Wow, this will be fantastic. So the enthusiasm has already started to be infectious with the staff as well.
Matthew Dickinson, congratulations. We'll talk more in the new year.
Thanks very much. I'm really looking forward to it, Nick.